Morning everybody, it's bright and early, we're in Saltstraumen, so join us because today we are going to go to the bridge and watch the tide go out, and then we are going to visit the town of Bodø and we are going to do some cultural stuff and have a look in the town centre and things. Saltstraumen is the name of a strait just south of Bodø, and it happens to be the world's fastest tidal current. This is the tide table for 2020, so you can see the best times to go and have a look. So we just walk over the bridge, or halfway along the bridge, for a view. Well, I'm on the peak of the bridge. It's 10 minutes before the highest tide, and I hope we'll be able to get a better view. It's still a pretty good view from up here, whatever, but we'll have a look at the water. I'll probably set the camera up on time-lapse. So at normal speed it doesn't show up so much, although you can see the vortices forming. When you put it into time-lapse it really shows up. The central section is the water coming in from the sea into the fjords, and you can see how the whirlpools and such like start to generate. There's 400 million cubic meters go in and out of here every 6 hours. So they're called the Saltstraumen maelstroms. And sometimes you can get 10-metre whirlpools 5 metres deep. Unfortunately today it wasn't the strongest tides, but it was still pretty impressive. That's Bodø over there, and you can see there's some rain showers, so best we pack the wet gear. That's Saltstraumen for today. Well, we'll come back this evening. That's it for this morning. Campsites here are funny. It's 8 AM and there's absolutely nobody around. So it's only a short run today, about 29 kilometres. So we're going to head from Saltstraumen, and our first port of call is the Nordland Museum beside the airport. It's quite a pleasant ride over there. Traffic was light and we're just minding our own business. Well, we've arrived here, and just after, I think it was it Norvik? Vicar? I can't remember the name of the place with the port and the mine. There was a rock bigger than my fist, a big sharp rock right in the middle of the road. I saw it at the last minute and went round, but I clipped it with the front tyre. And you can see the mark here where I got it, but luckily, looking at the tyre, I just caught the edge of it. If I'd have hit that straight on, that would have been the end of the tyre and the rim. Just goes to show you've like every minute that you're riding you need to be paying attention to what you're doing. That was a bit of a close call there. And this is the Fjords, which is a museum of Norway and stuff. Jektefart.no is the website, and it was in Lonely Planet, and they've got all these various buildings and things around here, so I thought we'd come and have a look at here and get ourselves some culture. Let's have a look around some of the buildings here. So these have been moved here. So this is from Medby in Saltdal, workshop for ironwork used by a blacksmith. So we've got the bark and the moss on the roof and the interlocked wood construction. Farm Smithy from Saltdal. Yes, so I think they moved the buildings here from other places. And there you can see the roof close up there. Looks like my garden at home. Right, so this is free to walk around. All these buildings and stuff outside. There's the main museum building, but I'm not going to go in there because I want to go into town. Stabur, used for storage of food from around 1800. So again, it's the same sort of construction. It's a bit lighter construction. It's on sticks. Mathildestua, I think, from Breivik in Bodø, originally the house of a crofter, moved from Sains by Saltstraumen. And the small collection of buildings here, they're all the same construction. from Rognau in Saltstraumen for housing of church visitors. Down on the shoreline here, what's left of a boat hut. There's the boat ramp. Well, anyway, I'm not going to hang around till the museum opens, so I think we're going to head to Bodø next. Let's go into the town and see what's going on in there. So, is this worth a visit? Maybe. I don't know. It's not particularly interesting, and 15 quid to get into the museum, and it looks like there's only like 2 rooms in there. So the plan is to head to the Bodø City Museum, and it's pretty easy to find. You just go to the bell tower of the cathedral and the City Museum is next door. There we are. It's this big orange coloured building here. Is it orange or is it yellow? I don't know. Anyway, we get here and find out that the museum doesn't open for another hour or so, so that gives us a chance to have a look around town. But just as we pull up, the bells start chiming at the bell tower. So we thought we'll go and have a look. So this is the Bodø Cathedral. This was built in 1956 because the old cathedral was burnt down when the place was completely bombed in the Second World War. 36-metre bell tower, and the whole thing is built out of concrete. Well, that's the freestanding bell tower that I'd heard about, and it just started ringing and it went on for about 5 minutes, so I don't know, I think this is the cathedral that's just behind me. I think I found the centre of town. There's a shopping centre over there, flowers and stuff, and there's a couple of like outdoor restaurant-y bar cafe places, but everything's closed. It looks like nothing opens till 11 AM in Norway. I don't know, maybe that's the case. So I'm just heading down to the marina down behind me there, to the tourist office. We found something interesting. We found a lady holding a boat. Hurtigrute Skippet. This is it, we found the front of the building at last, and it so happens that it's next door to the brewery. Although I can't drink because I'm on Wilbur, but I could always buy a beer and take it away for tonight. This is now getting silly. Man! Okay, oh, we found an eagle. That's 2 interesting things in Bodø. Look at that. That's a pretty good mural. So I stopped off at a coffee shop on the way back, and delicious. They've got these honey pancakes and you put them on top of your coffee and it softens it up. Delicious. So this is the Bodø City Museum. The city was founded in 1816 and this building was built in 1903, and it was one of the few buildings to survive World War II. Although it was hit twice and it destroyed the exhibitions, the actual building survived and it's been rebuilt. So the aquarium was one of the few areas that survived the bombing, but it used to be a wet aquarium. It's now a dry one. And the mousetrap I thought was pretty funny. But one of the main exhibitions they've got at the moment is all the traditional clothes. So it varies from fisherman, upper class gent, to upper class lady in the red dress there. We've got a bailiff that we've got here. And then towards the back we've got a young man's outfit. So he'd be on there impressing the women. And a fisherman here in his oiled leather skins. And this would have been a lady's Sunday best. And the kids' outfits here. You'll notice the embroidery. Every area and family had their own embroidery patterns. Very interesting. So they've got a small cinema here that they run like a 20-minute film or something. It runs every half hour, so let's pop in. Here's the cinema. Let's pick a spot. I just watched the 25-minute film there, and that was really interesting. It went through the history of the town all the way through. How they built the town and how they had the herring rush. The people, they were earning 2.5 years worth of wages in one day on their herring fishing. And they always come on the 29th of November every year, it said, and they all pile into the fjords. World War II came and it basically levelled the town, and that was the end of that. So they rebuilt, most of the town now has been rebuilt, and this museum itself was bombed actually, the building. So the exhibition goes through all sorts of bits and pieces. There's your brooch, how about that? This is the largest Viking brooch ever found. It was found in 1919 in a parcel that had 1.2 kilos of silverware in it, just outside the city of Bodø. The find dated back at least 1,000 years. There was some coins in there dated 949. An example of the longhouse here that was found in Lofoten. So this was 67 metres originally, and then it was made out to 83 metres long. There's a nice section about how music developed in the 1950s and 60s in the north of Norway. Very interesting, you know, rock and roll coming in and such like, and the fashions. And I think he's enjoying it. I had some great models of the city showing how it developed from 1816 to 1865 as the fishing developed there. 1939, which of course was the start of the war, and it was a prosperous city at that point. The city was bombed into almost complete oblivion in the Second World War, as you can see here with the brown areas. There wasn't much left. And then how the city is today. Again, a prosperous place. Of course, being the city it is, there had to be a section on tinned herring. I mean, the whole place was built around that. And you realise that the herring that they caught here was shipped all over the world. There's lots of other stuff. I can't put it all in this video, you know, child's toys and all sorts of things. But they've got another section on the Second World War. It was a big event in the town's history, of course. And I thought they'd covered it very well. You can see here images of what the town was like when it was destroyed, and even a small area set up as if it was back then. Well, what a special treat that was in the end. What a great little place that museum is. Highly recommended. I've run out of my 2-hour free parking here, so I'm going to go down into town into the motorbike parking. I think we're going to go down to that brew house and try and get some lunch. So I'm just riding through Bodø like you do, and of course then I hear, Richard! Somebody shouting my name. And
hi there, Richard. Good to meet you again.
It's a small world.
It's the third time I see you on this trip.
Yes.
Let's sort of wave him down.
Yep. So we've met on the ferry. We had a wave on the Route 17 as we were flying by, and just riding through the town here. So, yeah, it's funny how you pick up these people doing the same routes and at different points. Yeah, it's a small world after all.
Yeah, welcome to Bodø.
There's not much to do.
Don't think so. I've been told go up a building, one of these hotels, look at the view and then leave. That's what there's to do.
Yeah. Well, I've just been to the City Museum up there. That's well worth a visit.
Okay.
Yep. Right. He's going to do museums. I'm going to do lunch. This is the mural next to the pub. I hope Wilbur's going to be okay under that eagle. Poor Wilbur. But this is the Hundholmen brewery. So the brewery is in the building here. But it was amazing from the point of view of the architecture. It reminded me a little bit of some of the porterhouses. They're one of my favourite pubs. There's all sorts of things in here. And I especially like that chandelier. It's the kind of thing you'd get an Australian would build. These are all the different beers that they brew on site. All impressive stuff. But anyway, we're here for lunch. Well, as we struggle on while camping our way through Norway. Cheers everybody. This looks delicious. And sure enough, it was delicious. Reindeer sausage. Yummy. Well, we've just got to take a moment here. The sun's out. It's pretty warm. I don't know, what is it? About 13, 14 degrees. And this is the harbour at Bodø. This is a bit of a special moment for me and Wilbur. Good old Wilbur. Because this marks the most northerly point on our journey. From here, we are now going south. So this is it. This is the turning point. Literally, it's taken us 14 days to get here. 3,772 kilometres. Well, we're back at camp. I've just done something really stupid, which is I went to put Wilbur on the rear stand. I lost my footing and got my foot caught on the rear stand and dropped Wilbur. So poor old Wilbur. He's not only got a bent footrest on this side, I dropped him on the other side, and I've properly bent this one. And I've bent the exhaust in, so now the rear stand won't go down. Pants. Well, Wilbur needs a service anyway, but I thought I'll clean him first, because that's always a good thing to do, and it gives you a chance to check the bike over. I found a problem. That is a broken spoke, and I don't want that rattling around and getting caught, so the best thing to do, I don't have any spare spokes with me, is I'll just take it out and leave the nipple in the rim. I'm guessing it happened when we hit that rock on the road. But anyway, as a temporary fix, I'll just take the spoke out. With the exhaust easily fixed, you just get hold of it and bend it till the stand comes down. That's it. That's the first part of my problems. You can see the footrests bent there. That's unrideable. So I can now stick it on its stand and we can get on with the servicing jobs as usual. It's a nice evening for it. So do all the normal stuff, check the oil levels, bits and pieces like that. Adjust the rear chain up a bit. Of course it was a new chain, so it's bedded in. That's it. That's nice there. The distributor, the points gap had closed up, so I had to adjust the points. I think that's when the water and dirt got in. And finally it's time to sort out the foot pegs. And I realised that one was bent one way and one was bent the other. So if I just swapped them over, that's a get your home fix. Now that is a result. Just put the footrests that are bent opposite each other on the other sides, and then they both turn out about flat, which is a lot better than it was. Our first port of call tomorrow is to get south of the Arctic Circle, so I'm going to head to the E6 with a slightly scenic route, E6 being the Arctic Highway, head south, and our first port of call, which if I get on with it I might make for a morning cup of tea, is the Polar Circle Centre. I'm then going to head further down, we go to Mo i Rana, and then I'm just going to carry on further south, and there's a couple of other roads I can duck onto there to avoid the highway. So I figured for the evening we'd have a run back down to Saltstraumen and go down to river level and have a look. So this runs up to 40 knots. That's not messing about. So obviously the tide's coming in because the sea's that way. So it was good to stand here for a while watching the tide slowly get faster. There's one of the tourist boats. You can jump on those in Bodø and go up and down here if you wish. So I sat there and watched the fishermen. That's just mad rain. That rainbow goes to the bottom of this rock. They have the best rainbows in Norway. Oh, we've got a double rainbow now. How about that? All the way over the bridge. Look at that. That's the closest rainbow I've ever seen. The rainbow over the fisherman. Maybe it'll bring him luck. So this is the visitor centre at the end of the bridge. There's the bridge at Saltstraumen, but unfortunately it's closed. Closed for the season. It's not even just closed, it's closed, proper closed. Fish art. There you go. That's the most interesting thing I can find at the visitor centre. So join us next time when we find a giant stone protractor. Our road is blocked by sheep. We're riding down the Arctic Highway. We end up at the Arctic Circle Centre, which isn't actually at the Arctic Circle, and we find all sorts of tourist tat there. We ride the Vildmarksveien scenic route, and that turns out to be pretty good. Some great roads through forests and such like. We eat reindeer jerky beside a lake. We visit Namskogan, which is a long way from anywhere it seems. And finally we find a great camping spot beside the lake. All that and more next time on Wilbur's Arctic Adventure.